Well, you know, we've got to fill the minutes up, give you something to watch on your Friday nights. So I am filling the minutes up. I'm filming more than I normally would film, just to give you entertainment. Well, to help if you're building your seat and you want to save some time, put your runners on first. Okay, your front adjust, your slider adjust handles in the middle there. Bolt the rails on, 2 bolts to bolt your rails set up. You've got another lever on that side which links to that one, so when you pull it they both move. Once you've done that, get your your other running cradle, oil it up, then bring that in from the top. Tip for you, use these holes here to line both rails up in the same position relative to each other. So I use those little holes, parked both these rails, because they slide up and down over the mount bolts so that they're both level, and when you lock these together with the spring, they're both moving relative to each other, so you don't get that skewed effect. Once they're parallel and locked in, you can bring this top runner down, just leaving these mount bolts just with some play in them, so when you bring this down it just sets it to the right width, and then you can lock that bolt in, slide it towards you, and lock the 2 other bolts in. So there's just, basically the rails are just moving, they've got play in them, so I can bring this arm in, down, then lock together. It's just a little tip I learnt the hard way. Don't bolt these solidly up until you've got this on, then bolt the bottom, then slide it down, then bolt the top. Okay, and then keep them in line, then put your locking spring across, your activating rod across, and then it all moves together in parallel. Hope that helps a little bit. Right, there's that seat. I'll take you around the other side. Centre console's in, gear sticks on. That's that new gator that we had made up. There's your plastics that were painted. Caught it there with a screwdriver. I think I'll just have to touch that in. It's going to happen, isn't it? A couple of little chips that I've picked up as I've been building it. The wood effect fascia's away for refurb, but for now I've just got a plain black fascia on, so obviously as soon as it comes back for its chrome surround, we'll take that off. Centre console's in, there's your memory stick for the MP3, that fits neatly in there, so I can just slot in. It actually works well in that choke housing, you can get in. Of course, purists beware, because it's a mod, but it's for the radio, and that's got to be done. There's your immobiliser key fob, there's the blue illumination on the key, we know about that. So dashboard lights up nice. I'll turn the lights off in the garage in a minute, and we'll see how illumination looks. Dash top, really pleased with that. Screen, no leaks on that, that's good. I put some screen sealer mastic round, and that's held it out. There was one little leak at the top, it's gone now with the mastic. Sat nav is in, that's on a quick release bracket, so you can just hook out, it's magnetically mounted. That picks up its power feed in the roof console down behind the dash for the fuse. So we're clicking on for the sat nav, we're looking good there. That's also connected to the tweet feed for Swampy, so sat nav will update with the times of the shows this season via the sat nav. It'll be letting me know when I've arrived. A few people who are coming down to see the car. The tweet system will keep anyone that wants to in the loop. That's if anyone wants to do that system. We're going to go over this side. Oh, there's your B-pillar trim on. New seat belt fitted there. You knew about the grab handles. We know about the sun visor. There's a sun visor that's in the retracted position over the side. That works really, really well, that one. So you got side, and then of course you just twist round and you've got your normal setup. I was pleased with that sun visor, the way that worked, nice and parallel, all for the OCD, all lines up with a spirit level. I had to do it. Right, let's take you to that seat. Got to get these door cards on. Across there, new brake servo one. I don't know if I mentioned the brake servo situation on the previous vid. If I didn't, I'll recap now. You know about the manifold, that's being picked up next week. Ceramic, that comes off. There's a new servo and master cylinder. Okay, that's a new unit out of the box, working. and a new master cylinder out of the box, a girl in one, the right one. That's the finish that it has. It even has this sort of paint streak on it. I don't know what it's all about, but that is out of a sealed box, so that's how they come. What happened is these threads stripped on my servo here when I was tightening it up, and I didn't over tighten it. It was just swampy servo was that rotten. Whilst the servo worked amazingly, the studs here, the threads stripped. Now I fixed it by doubling it with 2 bolts, but I didn't like it, and it didn't make me feel good, because I just thought if them bolts shear, I'm in trouble. So luckily New Ford had both a pair set up there. They had the master cylinder and they had the servo in. Just sheer luck, because I would have been stuck with that. So we thanks to New Ford Parts for getting me that. And looks the part. I think it actually looks better than the one I'd done. It's just more authentic with those markings on. You've got the 2 over the top, not sure what that signifies. And then you've got some lettering down the bottom there. I like that, just the way it is out the box. Everything's on with that. I've done the horns, they're fitted and running. You've got 2 Fiamme air horns there. They're seriously loud. And I've put them on the original mount brackets too, so they look original. Obviously it was disc horns on this car, but I don't like disc horns. What else have I got in there? Your radiator's back in, cowling's on the back of the radiator. That rad had a leak on it at the top. I've had that fixed, so that's been out and back in. Did have a leak. That's where my crappy soldering was, because I can't solder properly. I'd flow soldered it in, but what I'd done is I'd damaged the header part by overheating where I flow soldered. So be careful if you do convert a radiator to front mount, watch you don't overheat and knacker the core. Best going to a specialist, then they can pressure test it. I was close, but I didn't quite make it. Nearly did it. Carburetor, you see there's a one off the green car. I've got a brand new carburetor to go on. That's just to set everything up and road test the vehicle. So across to the seats then, as I said. There's the passenger fitted. Don't worry about these speckles, it's just some dust that landed, just rubs off. Okay, so I've got a bit of side trim to go on there. I've got the chrome capping on the edge. I've got a side trim to fit. I've just marked the holes and I've just painted that side trim. That's that door edge capping on. We've got the Ford Sil badge on. Said I'd show you the seat. So there's the bed lever there. You pull that and the whole seat goes forward. I won't be able to do it with the camera, but you get your normal range. Let's just get in and I'll show you what I mean. I know I keep going on about it. So I'm going to operate my normal forward and backwards seat. So that takes me where my knees aren't quite touching the glove box. So if I recline the seat now, you don't quite get horizontal. However, if you pull the bed lever, which is where the hell's it gone? It's going to be around, oh there it is. It actually gets hidden when you're fully forward. I think you're meant to pull that first and then do your front, but pulling the lever now takes me, well actually I was already forward with it, so but it takes me even closer. I'm virtually touching now, so I've gone all the way forward. Then what I do, pull back on the reclining lever, which is that one, and I'll show you by getting out. I've not fully reclined it, but it goes all the way forward and that drops all the way down. That gives you your what they call the bed. Let's just do that now. Something like that. Okay, so that's how it works. That's the whole idea with it. You can see how far forward that is. And there's the lever there. They discontinued it, but I don't know why. So I've got one on either side, of course, and then you've got the height adjuster, which is just at the side there. There's your height adjust lever, and that's your pivot for your height adjust. It has 2 plastic inserts on this. If you are refurbing, don't lose that insert. Or if you've acquired some, make sure that insert's in. It's a plastic liner which stops rattling on the height adjuster. I'll show you on the other seat, like a plastic cap. So that's it. We've got nice powder coated hinges. There's your end cap, your plastic end cap, which shields the end of the hinge, so when you're in the back of the car it looks neat. And I've got some new passivated bolts holding the whole shebang in. Okay, so that's really the seat done, apart from this side trim which I'll fit in a minute. So I'll go back now to the driver's seat and let's build it up and get the driver's seat in. Unfortunately the weather's bad today, so I'm working indoors. I've been outdoors because it's been sunny, but back indoors again. There's those plastic liners I was talking about. How it works is your height adjuster is already bolted to the floor. When you offer the seat up, you slot it into this height adjuster. That's the cam, the height adjusting cam. That's the height adjust lever. It has a locking pin which locks into this bracket, locks you in position. These cams slot into this receptacle, heel, whatever you want to call it. So that cam goes in this housing. The housing's lined with a plastic clip which just stops it being metal to metal and clanking. So it's basically a cushion, it's a packing piece. Got them in both sides, and the little lugs at the side. I had one missing, quite easy to make with some plastic. I made one up for the passenger side. There was one disappeared somewhere, I don't know where, probably turn up, but you can just cut a piece of plastic and score it and curve the ends up and make your own packing piece. Leave this to me now and I'll build this up. Get the runners on the bottom there. Just need to find those holes, just get a knife and just put across and cut across into that for the bolts, and I'll build this up. You'll see me in a minute with it fully built up. Here we go. Alright, so I'm in there with that, keeping these up so you can slide it on because they'll lock in, otherwise you'll see as that comes down that locks you in. So we're moving nice there, no play. Okay, put the springs on it now. Okay, it's all back together. We're operating there, greased up, running up, all running. So I've got some lithium on there and I just wiped off any excess. You don't want to get that on if you're under the seats in the car. You get oil all over you, so just get it in the rails only. Lithium grease there. All the connecting cables are on. There's your rod to activate the bed slide. That's that sub slide there. Here's the height adjuster done. Spring back on it, bit of grease in the top there, freed up that pivot bar. Just got to put the plastic knobs on the end of each one now. Just they should be in the stores box. Here they are. We'll just tap them on the ends. This will just need filing down. The powder coat's just gone into a bit thick blob at the end, and we don't want to try and strike this on. In fact, that one's already got a chip out of it. I think that got bust when we took it off. They're quite brittle, so I'm going to mount that upright that way. I've got another one actually off the other seat. I'll pinch that. Okay, so put this in the car now, bolted in, and we'll offer the seats up. Just tighten these bolts now. I know that spacing's correct. That's what I was on about before. Tighten them up now. That's running free. Locks it in the right position. Okay.